Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Dizer. I'm here with my Damie Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Lane. Good morning.
Good morning.
We've got a few things to talk about today. I want to get through a couple things that came up this morning in the media before we get into your big topic for the day. I know you've got something planned, which is great.
Let's use planned loosely.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I get it. What's coming out this morning is very interesting for me. I already have told you about this because I couldn't keep it in when I first read it, but I'm really interested in this. This is a new study that found a correlation between a psychiatric disorder, intermittent explosive disorder, which is a disorder described in the DSM that it involves people who are having outbursts of anger for a reason that wouldn't warrant it rationally. And this can be quite a difficult diagnosis to make, but you see these people in your lives sometimes where they just have such anger and aggressiveness for what seems to be no apparent reason. Anyhow, in this one study, which was significantly large, they found a correlation between toxoplasmosis, parasite in their blood, and this disorder, which is very interesting. Toxoplasmosis is a parasite you mostly get from cat feces. But it is found in undercooked meat and in some places in the drinking water. You have to watch out for it. It doesn't normally have a major effect on humans in this way that has been documented. But they found that there was a big-time correlation. In fact, people who had this parasitic infection were twice as likely to have this intermittent explosive disorder. Which is very interesting. And the reason I find it interesting is because we don't know enough about infectious disease yet. We don't know enough about how chronic infections affect us, bacterial, virus, fungal, or parasitic. We're still looking for causes of so many different things: depression, anxiety, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia. We're always looking to get to the root cause. Right. And infectious disease needs to be on the front line of what's being done research-wise. Now, the correlation, and this is the first thing that you said this morning, correlation doesn't mean causation. And are people who have these outbursts just more likely to have a cat? Right?
Yeah. Like a personality thing.
Yeah. I mean, and that could be, based on what cats are like, they could go hand in hand. Cats aren't the most loving...
They're independent.
Right.
They're not... necessarily, they are loving, so let's not calm down, cat lovers. But they're loving when they want to be loving.
Yes.
They pick and choose when, affection is appropriate. They're the queens of the house, and they're very independent. So I think that people that are looking for a lower commitment, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. Is it what comes first?
It's strange because that whole saying... that people use, joking or not joking, the crazy cat lady.
Yeah.
Well, you wonder now.
Yeah, you wonder.
Was that always a saying? Because perhaps there is a parasite that is affecting people that have cats and care for cats? Or does it happen that people that, have depression, that maybe it manifests in an impulse control?
Right.
Tend to live an isolated lifestyle and have a cat. I don't know.
Exactly. And we don't know these answers yet, and maybe they'll come forward. I don't know.
But it's very interesting. So I wonder if they're going to start trying to treat this parasite.
Yeah.
To try to help people alleviate their outbursts.
Exactly. That's probably what will happen next.
Seems worth it to
Definitely.
try.
Totally worth it.
If you have, yeah.
And we've talked about infectious disease on the show before, looking at trying to find the cause of certain cancers, right? Because we know a couple different cancers that are definitely caused by infectious disease. Now we're looking at psychiatric disorders.
Yeah.
Could there be more caused by infectious disease? Anyhow.
And I think it's a really intelligent and progressive way to look at things that it's scary when we think we know everything about cancer, about,
even about the brain in general.
Mental health. Exactly. Because we don't. The reality is we know nothing, really.
No.
In the big scheme of things. We don't have all the answers. So I think looking at all these different possibilities could bring healing to a lot of people in the world.
It definitely could.
It makes me happy that it's happening.
Me too. And the authors are speculating, trying to guide where the research should go next. Is this parasite causing some sort of inflammation in the brain? Or,
right.
Where should we look next for actual causation?
It's interesting because with my own immune system, I know for a fact that when I'm not feeling well, the way that my body reacts is I never get really sick, but my lymph nodes all inflame. And then I always get a fever, and then my mind isn't right. I'm over emotional. I'm reactive to things that I would never be reactive to. I have almost hallucination dreams when I'm sleeping.
You get very active dreams.
I almost if I'm sick, there's a high probability I'm going to wake up crying from something that, like a really active dreams. And that's something I've had since I was a child. So I can imagine how this would correlate.
Yeah.
Just thinking rationally how my body reacts to illness.
Reacts is interesting.
So just thinking on a bigger scale. And I think it makes sense. Definitely.
We can all probably attest to the emotional changes we feel when we're under the weather, colds and flus. Yeah, crazy. Along the same lines, talking about anxiety and depression, I was reminded this morning by a blog I was reading about oxytocin and this hormone that's released that causes the body to calm down. It's released when you have a baby and you get the baby in your arms for the first time. You release a flood of oxytocin, and it's thought to create a loving connection between the parents and child. Anyhow, more and more research being done on it all the time, and they're looking at when else is this released, how can we take advantage of this hormone, and they're saying that it's such a great hormone for reducing anxiety and depression. And I feel like I already knew this, but it's nice to get the reminder. And the idea that's being presented is it's the cuddle hormone.
Pets. This is why having a pet.
This is exactly why having a pet is so good for anxiety and depression.
Yes.
What all I wanted to bring up today was don't discount the effect of human touch, cuddling a pet for anxiety and depression. It can be so helpful.
Oh, I completely agree. I know just with our male dog Oscar, just that feeling when, I wake up in the middle of the night and I should be annoyed because he's so cuddly that he's, made me so hot that I wake up, but I can't.
Right.
Because I'm just got
this
overwhelming gooey feeling in my heart of just the love. I can imagine that would help you. It did. It's helped me get through really difficult times.
Right. And I think that's the concept of therapy dogs as well. It can be part of it, most likely.
And I think looking after somebody that is completely dependent on you is really healthy, especially when we're really self-focused.
Right.
In times of anxiety or depression.
Yes, and that self-focus is exactly what happens. It becomes social isolation, usually. People tend to retreat. When the opposite is what can help flood the brain with these positive chemicals, that neurotransmitters that make us feel really, really good. Cuddling.
I agree.
As we both cuddle a small dog right now.
Yeah, exactly.
All the licking you're hearing, that's Oscar. He's the cuddly one.
He knows we're talking about him.
Yeah, exactly. Today we really wanted to dive into the details around the all-day workout.
Right. I mention it a lot, and I feel like I've never just clearly explained it. People that I work with on the program, they obviously, most of them know if we've had conversations about it, but I feel like I've just kind of put it out there, but never fully explained what I'm talking about when I'm talking about my all-day workout.
And the all-day workout, this is a really huge part of your life. This is how you
navigate hard days.
Definitely.
It's how I navigate hard days and still create success.
Right.
Basically. Period.
Period.
So
Tell me about it.
Okay.
Give me a little synopsis of what is the all-day workout, what does it mean to you, and what does it do for you?
So I live on our Bikini Body program. I live on it. That's my way of life. That's my lifestyle. That's how I live. That's how I've lost, 30 whatever pounds, completely changed my body, what my body composition is, and how I've maintained my healthy body weight, and how I'm healthy and energized and blah, 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 blah. So the Bikini Body program, I call it that because that's what was hip back when I, launched the program, but really it's a way of life and it's how I live. So that's how I live. The reality is that my life can get crazy and I can have days where I cannot go to the gym and spend an hour, or I have to be glued to my desk and to my computer because that's my business, but it completely contradicts what I like to do with my lifestyle. So instead of beating myself up and becoming sedentary and just saying, well, to heck with it, I'm just not going to do anything these days, I developed a way to use my program that I call the all-day workout.
Mm-hmm.
And we joke about it a lot because David sees it when he's here. So what I'll do is I'll just take my workout for the day. So say it's, an upper body weights workout, or say it's a lower body weights workout. Not obviously, but I do not have machines in my home. So I have, a barbell, I have weights, I have bands. So I can adapt all my workouts that are in my program to either machines or to these items. So what I'll do is I'll just break it up. So what I use as a main guiding system, because I drink so much water, is every time I go to pee, when I come back, I do a set of weights. So whatever the weight, I just have the workouts up, and whatever the workout is. So say I'm, the first workout is shoulder press. So I will go pee, I will come back, I'll do, 12 shoulder press. Come back. A lot of the times before I sit down, I'll do 10 squats to get my heart rate up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sit down, do work. Next time I have to go pee, I do the shoulder press, I do 10 squats, sit down. I do the same thing with everything. And in between, I use what's called the kick it up options on my program. So I'll interchange the squats with, walking lunges or things like that, push-ups, dips, whatever, uses basically the whole or large muscles and wakes the body up. And I'll do this all day.
Right.
All day. I'll just keep cycling through the workout all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I did it basically from whatever time you left in the morning.
Yeah, like 9.
9 a.m. and I did it till last night.
Right.
And I woke up this morning, my legs definitely feel like I had an amazing weights workout, which I didn't. I did it all here, just with my hand weights and body strength. And I feel good. I feel lean. I feel tight. I feel just like if I went to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a way of, it works, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, it just eliminates those excuses and those problems. Obviously, if you work in an office, you might not be able to bring your hand weights in, but you can do things like dips on your chair. You can do the squats. You can do the lunges. You can do those types of things if you have privacy in your office.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have privacy on your lunch hour, you could go for a walk.
Right.
At a really high pace. When you go to the bathroom and you are in there, if you don't have privacy, you can do 15 squats.
Yes, that's really, it was something that I've tried to adopt, and I've done that a few times using squats or push-ups.
Yeah.
In the washroom.
Yeah.
But yeah, squats.
But public washrooms, you're not going to do push-ups.
No.
But I've done squats many times in public washrooms. I give zero hoots. I am one of those people that will just walk out into public and see a bench and do dips. I don't care.
Zero hoots.
I do. I mean, who cares?
Exactly.
What? Oh, I'm building health.
This might be surprising, but I was reading some research about this the other week. Seriously.
Is someone coming in on my idea?
Honestly, someone is.
No.
It was more about whether there's a difference between if you condense a workout into a half an hour or an hour, or if you space it out over the course of the day.
Call the publisher today, because if someone gets ahead of me on my own idea that I've developed and used and worked on all these years.
Right, yes.
Mama gonna snap.
Right. The thing is, like you said, it's not applicable to everyone, but there is ways to fit it in.
But there are ways that are applicable for everyone, if you want it to be.
It's
if you
true.
don't, you'll find an excuse not to.
It's true.
It's like everything in life.
Mm-hmm.
If health and wellness and eating healthy and exercising is a priority in your life, you'll find ways to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I have people that work, that are nurses, that work overnight shifts, back to back. They have every right to say, I can't do anything.
Yes.
And they do.
Mm-hmm.
They eat healthy. They take those breaks. They find those workouts. They get on the proper sleep schedule. It's all a priority.
Right.
If you really prioritize feeling good and feeling the way that you really understand that you deserve to feel, which is excellent, you'll find a way.
You will find a way. And as you say that, I'm thinking of a way I can incorporate this in my life. I think that in the work setting, in an office setting, you could have bands. I mean, you could bring bands to work.
Yeah.
I should bring bands to my office. That's a great idea.
Well, I mean, you do these things. You will work out before you go to work.
I
hear you doing push-ups before you leave. Then you do bike at the end of your day. Then you come home and you and I go for an hour and a half walk. Then at night you lift weights.
Yes, but Amy, life hack.
Oh my God.
Amy, take Amy Lane's programs. Put them in your life.
Dave
I do
takes
believe
everything that I say and then takes it to a level that causes me anxiety. That's our relationship.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So the way you do this really is you've got this station set up in your home where there's a few weights.
Well, right here, as we're talking right now, beside me, I have my leg weights over here. Yeah, at the doorway that I have to walk by to go pee, that Dave gets so mad because he stubs his toes on them all the time. I have my upper body weights that I used yesterday.
So we're talking stations here. We're talking like interval type stations.
Don't care.
There's a Bosu in one corner.
I set it up every morning and I take it down every night. I don't care. I'm
No,
unapologetic.
And I love it. I
And
think it's awesome.
I basically put those weights there, so I have to walk by them because sometimes I don't feel like it. I'm not, I'm human. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired, especially with all this stuff in the first few months of pregnancy. Like, I just would rather be sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like my general. But I put those weights there, and I would just do it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Because I walk by and I'm like, what's my excuse? It takes 2 seconds. Then you get that first one and you get that pump and you start to feel good. And then I'm like, well, I might as well do the squats before I sit down. Do the squats, I sit down, I do my work the next time. Then I get the ball rolling every day. Like, I think motivation, we've kind of been lied to about motivation, that it just strikes and then people just run with it and it's just this gift from God like grace. It's not the same as grace. For some people, maybe, that, they're struck down with motivation, and in times in life that happens. But the reality is motivation is created.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that is decided, created, and then it pulls you once you've got it rolling.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But it's not just a thing that strikes down in your life and just like those lucky people that are so motivated. No, that's created, manifested, worked on, fire that's been stoked on a continual basis.
And this is one of the benefits of this all-day workout. One of the things I've seen, yes, you feel more motivated. And I think it's related to the circulation of blood flow. I mean, we know that every hour we're supposed to get up from our chairs, those of us who are sitting all day.
Yeah.
But when you get up from your chair, you're not just walking around the office or walking around your home. You're grabbing the weights, you're circulating the blood, you're going right to the muscle, and then eventually it's going to circulate to the brain. And gosh, you just feel lighter. You feel like you can go. You feel like you can do.
And it also, I find, makes my work more positive. Because, I work with amazing people and there's a lot of positivity in what I do, and the majority is positive. But I also do a lot of work on the internet, and I have a lot of connection to the internet, and there's a lot of negativity. Like, I get told off about the most bizarre things.
Mm-hmm.
So that can drag you down. That can make you feel really bad. I'm still a human. I don't like people being really mean to me for no reason. But I find I'm capable of handling that more and laughing it off easier if I'm doing the steps to feel healthy.
Right.
And that is on days where I can't go out and do that hour workout.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this all day workout makes me able to handle more.
It keeps you more centered. It keeps you more
Yeah.
in line with your highest self.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's really great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to get back on it today.
Here we go.
Here we go. No, the all-day workout's good. So the best possible tips, have a weight area in your home or even bands in your office, and do the shoulder press, do the bicep curl, do the tricep press,
and put them in your way.
Exactly.
In the morning.
You have to see them.
When you wake up in the morning and you're setting up for your day, if you work at home or if you have a private office, put those weights that in a place you have to walk by. Put them in a place where, oh yeah, you know.
Every time your bum hits the chair, do 10 squats.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just simple things like that. It can be very helpful. And I often will recommend that this sort of idea is used for people in the same way for stretching. Have a cue set up somewhere in your home where you can do, simple stretches. Like, for example, people who have upper cross syndrome, where they have the rolled forward shoulders, where their chest is really tight and their back is really stretched out. Every time you go through a doorway, at your home at least, stretch your arms in the doorway. Yeah. Things like that. Just simple cues that remind you to actually do the work.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to always be all out all the time. It's about setting up life to work for you. And just working with what you have, doing your best at that moment. And it's not all or nothing. I think in society that's another thing we've been kind of misled, that it's like you're either this or you're that. But it's not true. There's so much, gray in between that you can work with and become a ridiculously healthy, fit person. And it doesn't fit that model. That's why I always call myself the healthy rebel, because I just don't fit in a box. I just don't believe that I have to do things a specific way that someone tells me. I feel like I can adapt things, change things, and make it real for all of us out here that have real lives, that have to, we're on the hustle, we're living, we've got stuff to do,
Absolutely. I would say even in doing this, you would be maybe getting more repetitions than if you were doing it in a concentrated workout.
Well, I end up, because yesterday I probably cycled through the workout 3 times.
Right.
But I had the energy.
More reps by the end of the day.
Oh, definitely. I mean, my legs are killing me today.
Right.
That's great. I'm thrilled. I'm going to have a bath later. Epsom salt, do lots of stretching, drink my water, get lots of nutrients, and I'm good to go. I'm thrilled with it.
I love it. Well, that's the all-day workout.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your tips. I think it's awesome. And I'm going to get back onto it today. That's Healthy Rebel Radio for today. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Lane has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at DamiHealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.